The Gucci Gucci Goo. You're a Gucci Gucci Goo. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Did you miss your daddy?
So what's going on, guys, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. And today we are going to be looking at the second episode of season 1, which is The Dog Has to Go. Now, in this episode, a lot of what's said about pets and things like that from Nick stems a lot from me. The thing is that I never grew up with pets. We had a budgie and a cockatiel, and other than that, we never had pets. We never had cats. We never had dogs. I had a dog when I was very young, named Rocky. But I never had pets, so a lot of what you see from Nick here about dogs, and not about the talking side to dogs and things like that, because I never had any. I had a bad experience with a dog once where a dog bit me and nearly turned me into a woman, so dogs are not really like my strong point. Like, I don't know, it's just something I'm not really one. Like, I won't sit and stroke a dog, I won't sit and stroke a cat. I've got cats now that, like, when I met my wife, she had 2 dogs, 3 cats, or 4 cats. She had a lot of cats. She's a crazy cat lady. But pets have never really been for me. But obviously, I wanted to do it that Mr. Daz had a thing with pets, and like with Rocky and that. So, and you're going to see further on in the series that why he likes pets.
Your daddy missed you. Yes, he did. Give me kisses. Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh, that was nice kisses. Who wants a snack?
Mr. Daz?
Oh, hi, Nick.
Who's this?
This is my dog, Rocky. He's finally come home.
Did he run away?
No, he was staying with my mum while I moved in.
Oh, so is he going to be staying here now?
Yep, and you better be nice to him. You took his bedroom.
Rocky looks more like a statue in this, that with Iceland, with certain animals, that they have got actions that you can perform. So if he's just standing there idle, you can do the actions. So he's breathing and he's actually moving, and he doesn't look like he's made out of clay. I just never done it in this episode, and that was my bad. Apartment just so your dog could have his own room.
Yeah, he has gas problems and he's getting older, so I thought, why not?
Okay, fair enough. I'm going to have a shower.
Okay, no problem. Gucci Gucci Goo. Oh, you're the best doggy in the whole wide world.
And we've got the new intro music here, which is great. I prefer this music over the old, like, funeral music.
So, when I began moving in, I asked my mum to take care of Rocky for a few days. I didn't want him to be alone in a new apartment for too long because it's all new to him. He seems to have come back a brand new dog. My mum enjoyed his company, so she ended up keeping him for a whole week. It's the longest I've ever been away from him.
Okay, the dog has to go. It's not that I'm scared of dogs, it's just that dogs seem to be scared of me. When I was 9, my mum bought me a puppy. He seemed like a really happy dog in the pet store, running around and playing with the other dogs. He had all this energy. After a few days at home with me, he became sad and dejected. He didn't want to run around anymore, he just wanted to lay in a corner and sleep. At first I thought it was because we took him away from his friends at the pet store, but I started to realise that he was okay with other people. I just wanted a friend that I could sit and chat with. I had a lonely childhood and I felt like an outsider, so when we brought the dog home, I'd sit on the bed for hours just talking. Right, so, so this is what I was saying with Nick when I first created the character. This is how I wanted him to be. That, like, once he starts talking, he just doesn't stop. But it is something that even for me, even like watching this episode back, it can get quite annoying. That, like, that constant talking side of him, it just grinds on you to a point where even like if I was watching my own show, I'd switch it off. The talking's too much, but obviously it plays into this episode like towards the end. Feelings, school, and anything else I could think of. It was so cute. He would just fall asleep halfway through a conversation, but it wasn't long after we got him that he stopped coming to my bedroom. Every pet I've had since just ended up going the same way after a while. They say that a dog's a man's best friend. Well, I can honestly say that that is a load of rubbish, so for that reason, Rocky has to go.
I can't believe how active he is. When I was living in the studio, he would just sleep all day and wake up only when he was hungry. I think spending time with my mum in her garden has changed him.
Oh yeah, wouldn't it make sense that he goes and lives with your mum then? Another mistake that I made when I first started creating this series is, if you have a look on the back wall, you can see like the light shining in and everything like that. But in later episodes, when you see that back wall, there's no windows there. So that was another mistake that I made, because the wall that I've got there while I animate, I remove that wall so I can get a view of the whole apartment. So it's like it's like it's a stage show, and I can see it all from there. But what I was doing is when I was rendering it, because them parts weren't in the scene, so I was going through it frame by frame. You never saw that back wall. The light I never really focused on, so I never thought to myself to actually put that wall back in. So you're going to see that quite a lot, which is an error that I've made and I've seen, and I think to myself like, why don't I go back and change it? But who's got the time?
He's been my best friend now for nearly a decade. I couldn't imagine my life without him.
It's just a dog.
Huh? Just a dog? Let me tell you something about this dog. In the past 9+ years, this dog has helped me through breakups, job losses, deaths in the family, and so much more. We've been through so much together. This is not just a dog. This is my best friend, and I will take a bullet for him.
Really? A bullet?
Yes. Having Rocky is like having a child, and I will protect him in every way possible.
Okay, calm down. I was just saying.
Yeah? Well, don't.
You said it yourself, though. He's come back a different dog. Maybe he prefers to live with your mum. Maybe living at your mum's house gives him a better life that he enjoys. Could you really be that selfish and stop him from having that life?
Well, yes, I can, because he's my dog and he's staying here, and that's that.
So you'll notice that the audio is quite bad, like for the first few episodes of this season. Like for this episode in particular, you can hear it is quite tinny, and then the next episode, Hobbies, which like at the time I enjoyed creating that episode so much, but what ruined it was the quality of the audio. And what I've done is that even now I use the same mic. It's not an expensive mic, but it's just finding the right settings for the mic. And I tried everywhere. That these, when I first started doing these, the recording was done here in this chair, not with this mic. And because of the size of the room, that's why it comes out echoey, it comes out tinny, and you can try and do as much as you like with Audacity, but it's not going to help. And then I put the microphone in the shed and was taking the laptop there, and it made the audio quality a little bit better, but through the episodes you'd hear the sound of the birds and everything in the background because my garden's like Jumanji. So in the end, the solution I came up with is in my wardrobe I put the microphone in between all of my clothes. So I've got my t-shirts and that they're hanging, the microphone's in between, and I do it through that, and it makes such a big difference to the quality of the audio. Now, I know people that like I've spoke to through Facebook, and they put mattresses up like in corners of their rooms. They got like 2 single mattresses that like box them in and things like that. There are other solutions that if you go onto Amazon, you can buy the padding if you've got an area in your house that like you can pad up and do that. But for me, I found that the way to do it was to put the microphone in between all of my t-shirts in the wardrobe.
Hayward dogs, I was just thinking about him. Yeah? Well, don't. Can you believe it? He wants me to let Rocky go and live with my mum instead of me. The bloody cheek of it. He shouldn't even be living here. And the bedroom he sleeps in every night was supposed to be for Rocky. Sorry, I'm just going to need a second. I think he might be scared of dogs.
One thing that I have noticed for this is if you look underneath Mr. Daz's eyes, that in a lot of the episodes, up until probably the most recent one, which is going online, that issue remains there. And I tried to fix it, but the original files that I had for Mr. Daz I lost, so the ones that I do trying to open to fix the eyes and that, it won't let me. Now I've managed to find them on an old disk drive, old USB drive, so that issue has now been fixed with his eyes. But yeah, that is something that bugged me for quite some time.
Near Rocky, bloody sissy.
I didn't mean to upset you earlier, Mr. Daz. I was just thinking of what would be best for Rocky. I didn't think you would take it that badly.
That's okay. So when did you become scared of dogs?
I'm actually not scared of dogs. I'm allergic to dogs.
Really?
Yeah. Achoo! See, it's starting already.
It's okay to be scared of dogs, you know. You wouldn't be the only person that is.
I'm not scared. I just have bad memories with dogs.
Well, why don't you tell me what happened and I might be able to help you out?
Well, it all started when I was 9 years old and I wanted a new dog. My mum took me to the pet store and I see this little brown boxer dog and I fell in love with him. I said to my mum right away that I wanted to take him home and she bought him for me. The first couple of days were great. He would wait by the door for me to come home from school, sleep at the foot of my bed and pretty much follow me everywhere I went. Then all of a sudden he just stopped all of it. All of a sudden he didn't want to be anywhere near me. He was okay with my mum and my dad but never okay with me, and it was heartbreaking.
Well, you must have done something to him to make him not like you. Dogs don't just change their minds like that.
Another thing with this that like I've started to do a lot differently now is when creating the characters, like you'll notice here that Nick is looking at Mr. Daz, but Mr. Daz is not looking at Nick, he's looking straight ahead into the kitchen. And like even though I knew about the iClone software and things to do, the one feature that I never really used at the beginning was the look at feature, just so that Mr. Daz would look and stay looking directly at Nick. That in all fairness, it's a feature that I hate because it's very fiddly. That when you want them to keep changing like the way they're looking, but it makes a hell of a difference because here it just looks weird that like while Nick is talking to him, he's just looking straight on into space.
Was a best friend to relax and talk to, but I guess he just wasn't interested. To talk to? Yeah, I didn't have any friends growing up, so I saw the dog as my best friend. I used to get home from school and tell Jake all about my day. I had a really bad day at school one day, so I went straight home and sat on the bed and told him all about it. It was after that he stopped coming to me. Can you remember what you talked to him about? Like it was yesterday. So I got into school that morning and I'd just had a new haircut. The barber said it was the latest trend and that the haircut alone would help me make new friends. I went into school with a newfound confidence, strutting around the corridor, and I can see heads turning. In my mind, the haircut was working and I was starting to get noticed. Then as the day went on, the head turning slowly turned to laughing. The other kids would come up to me and tell me that I looked like their nans. One even said I looked like an aging lesbian. I couldn't understand it at all. Then in the afternoon, a few of the kids decided it would be a good idea to flush my head in the toilet. When I asked them why they was doing it, they said that the haircut wasn't doing me any favours and they were just helping me to get rid of it for my own safety at school. I appreciated that. They used to always take my dinner money, etc., but this day they was really helping me. Anyway, on the way home I found out that the new hairstyle was given to me by a trainee and he saw me as a good test subject. I was devastated and never really lived it down. I got home and told Jake all about it and he just stopped following me around after that. Mr. Daz. Oh, sorry. I was just resting my eyes. Rough night. Oh, okay. So when Jake decided to... Nick, stop. Dogs don't want to be talked to. They want to be played with and fed. It sounds like you boiled the life out of the dog and he thought, sod that, I ain't going to him no more. Do you think? Well, you just told me the story and I fell asleep, so what do you think? Oh, so it was my fault. Yes, and please don't do that to my dog. He used to be a lazy git and only woke up for food, and now he actually seems like a normal dog, so I'd appreciate it if you didn't speak to him that much, okay? I won't. Oh my god. Can you believe that this man actually made a dog stop liking him just because he talks too much? I deserve a bloody medal for living with him. Doggy, yay! Don't bite me, doggy. Go away. Shoo.
So not the running to part, the running away part. Like I said earlier, I got bit by a dog when I was a kid, and that was probably me, like running back. Going, oh no, please don't bite me, doggy. But the bugger did bite me.
Oh, you are a cutie. I'm sorry I tried to get rid of you. As long as I don't talk to you too much, we should be fine. Good boy. So I guess I was always the problem when I had pets as a kid. Do I really talk that much that dogs just can't stand being around me? I mean, a lot of people don't like being around me because I talk too much, so why should it be any different for dogs? Still, at least I have Mr. Daz. He's a really good friend. Shut up, Rocky. I am trying to sleep. Rocky, shut up, bloody hell up. Right, that's it. You can get the hell out.
You're going to see that like throughout the series, that up until like the most recent episode, which I won't spoil, you don't really see Rocky that much. The reason for it is because the animations of the dog, not so much just the sound effects and the barking and things like that, but the animations didn't really seem that smooth with him, and even like down to the walking where you have to do all the timing and that yourself. To be honest, it was just too much. It was just something that I couldn't be bothered to do. So you do see Rocky now and then throughout the series, but not really that much.
Sofa. Oh, for crying out loud. Oi, you! I have to go to work tomorrow, so if you don't shut up, I'm going to give you a sleeping tablet. Right, that's it. Hello?
Same again with the
Yeah,
licking.
I need you to come and take this bloody dog.
He's not even looking at the dog.
I don't care that it's 3 AM. You work for me, remember, so if I can't go to work tomorrow, then you don't get paid tomorrow. David, shut up. Get dressed and come and take this bloody dog for a walk. People say that I take David for granted. Luckily for me, I don't really care what people think. I just want to go to bloody sleep. I'm awake. Rocky, stop. No. No. No, Rocky, give me my...
So if I was creating this scene now, it'd be a lot smoother. You see that as he got up and he turned to walk towards Rocky, he wasn't walking, he was sliding. So that's something that, like, as time's gone on, I've improved a lot with that, a lot with the sliding. That, to be honest, I've got the Re-Illusion site to thank for that. If you go onto their YouTube page, there's so many tutorials on there that will help you with that.
Drop it now. Ah! Ow!
Same there. Like, it's a little thing, but when he fell, now if I was to stand up here and fall on the floor, you'd hear something, whether it was a thud or if I fell onto something. So they are things that I do need to take care and pay more attention to.
What do you want me to do with the dog, Mr. Daz?
I don't care. I need to be up for work in 4 hours, so just take him for a walk until then.
A walk where? It's dark out and these streets are rough at night.
Well, don't worry, because you have a dog with you.
Oh yeah, silly me. Come on, boy.
Same again, there, you see the sliding.
Right,
with
time to
David,
get some bloody sleep.
It's not natural.
Ow, my head. Well, that was a crappy night's sleep. Stupid bloody dog and his stupid bloody energy. He needs to take it down a peg. Right, time for some coffee.
Hi, Mr. Daz. Did you sleep well?
Yeah, I called you at 3 AM to take the dog for a walk because I was having a good night's sleep.
Morning. You ready for work, Mr. Daz?
Yeah.
You'll notice as well that, like, if you have watched the season from beginning to, like, current episode, you'll notice the voice of David has developed a bit more. That when I first started creating it, because obviously, like, the Mr. Daz voice I was used to because I've been doing it for years, and then the Nick voice is my voice, so that was fine. With the David voice, it was completely new, and, like, to get it to sound the same all the time, I was finding it very hard. So, like, from the way he was speaking when Mr. Daz first came back to Harry was just speaking then on the floor, I had to try and figure out a way to try and get it the same near enough every time. And the trick that I came up with that is, when I do the recording, before David says anything, he has to say, I have to put that in. So even though you don't hear it on the episode, you'll hear it on a lot of episodes, but on some of them you don't actually hear the,
well, I'm sorry, Mr. Daz.
you don't hear that part. But that is the only way that I can get his voice to sound the same near enough every time.
Have some coffee and wake up a bit.
No can do. We've got a big regional meeting in less than an hour, so we can't be late.
Oh, well, that's just bloody great, isn't it? Fine, come on, let's go, but don't talking in the car. My head is pounding.
Finding it hard to sleep in a new place?
No, I'm finding it hard to sleep with a hyperactive dog who doesn't do nothing but scratch at my door and bark.
Ah, bless him.
No, not bless him. I'll be having words with my mum later to find out what the hell she's done to him to make him like this.
Getting the jittery. So to conclude, I feel that if we bring 4 of the branches together and combine them into one super branch, we'll be able to save on rental outgoings for the other 3 branches. Yeah, it might be a little bit cramped here, but I'm sure we'll adapt easily, and it's better than the alternative, which will be dozens of people out of a job. We have a few rooms down the hall which are mainly used for storage and meetings. We can probably get a couple of dozen computers in there, so everyone should have their places. Mr. Daz, do you agree with all of this?
Nick, do whatever you like. Just stop bloody talking and end the meeting so I can go home and sleep.
Mr. Daz, it's 10 AM. There's still another 7 hours left in the day.
For you maybe, but there's no way I can stay awake for another 7 hours, so hurry the hell up so I can go home.
Okay, calm down. The last order of business is the annual football match. Now, I thought we'd do it this year that there'd be 4 teams of 5 as opposed to 2 teams of 11 and make it a little tournament. Usually we rent the pitch out for 3 hours and lose money because we're usually done within the hour. Mr. Dad? Right, so for this part, the reason why I find it so funny that, like, he fell asleep in that meeting is because that is something that happened to me. It was different circumstances. Obviously, with Mr. Daz, he was kept awake all night by Rocky, whereas with me, I was hungover a lot. I think I'd stopped drinking like 3 or 4 hours before I was supposed to go into work. I was only young. I was only probably like 18, 19, and I was in the middle of a meeting, and like the whole office was around this meeting, and I just went. I was sitting at the round desk, and I was trying to keep my eyes open, and kind of was thinking like go for the Mr. Bean where I'd just do that, and like thinking like if I have matchsticks just to keep my eyes open, and I just dropped, like I had no sleep, I was still drunk, and I was a goner, and no one woke me up for about 3 hours, so they must have known, they must have smelt it on me. Mr. Daz, wake up.
What, Nick? Just leave me to sleep for 5 minutes, please.
Mr. Daz, you've been sleeping for 7 hours. It's 5 o'clock, it's time to go home.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's go. Oh, it's good to be home.
So I got woken up when it was lunchtime. The meeting was first thing in the morning, and it was around about 12:30 that like, one of my colleagues came and woke me up and said, like, it's lunchtime, we need to go. The job itself, any other job, I probably would have got sacked on the spot for it, but I was young. I was doing an apprenticeship at the time, so they wasn't paying me. But yeah, that was quite a funny experience.
Oh, not again. I don't think I can handle one more night of this.
I'm sure he'll tire out soon enough. Every dog gets tired at some point.
You're right. You know what, I was thinking about what you said the other night about how dogs don't like you. Well, I've done some research and it turns out that that's pretty common for dogs to react like that to kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm wondering if you take Rocky to your room for a little while and just have a chat with him. Just see how he is after you tell him about your day. I'd love to listen, but I feel so tired.
Okay, cool. Wish me luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Mr. Daz? Mr. Daz?
What? I'm only in the living room.
Please don't hate me. Turns out it's not just kids that do it to dogs, it's adults too. I think I've broken Rocky.
What do you mean?
Well, I sat him on the bed and started to tell him about my day and how the meeting went. Told him how you fell asleep in work and missed the office merger as well as the selections for the five-a-side football matches, and by the time I'd finished he was fast asleep.
What? Oh no, I can't believe this. Poor Rocky.
I am so sorry. Is there anything I can do to make you feel better?
Just let Rocky sleep in here for a few nights. I can't bear to see him like this.
Of course, he can sleep in here for as long as you need him to.
Okay, thank you. Oh, Rocky.
So, this scene in the episode wasn't originally written in, but because this was the first episode where I had to do the animations with the dog, I didn't like it. That I was still kind of new to the animations. I'd done a lot of videos beforehand where like there was the sliding and everything else with the walking, but with the dog, I just hated it. And even like when you just see him sleeping on the bed, like he's breathing, but then it glitches, then he breathes again and glitches. That I just didn't like it. So in the end, I decided to put this scene in so that he becomes a calm dog again. I didn't have to animate him that much anymore. And that was the second episode, The Dog Has to Go. Thank you all for watching. If you've got this far, we will be back tomorrow with the third episode, which is hobbies. And to be honest, with the show, that I've got a stepson who is blind, but he absolutely loves watching the show. That like if you give him a choice between watching like movies like from Disney or Pixar, or whatever, he'll choose this series because of the voices and because of the reactions and everything like that. He does enjoy watching it, so he watches it a lot. So when I'm like in and out sorting him out and feeding him or whatever, that he's usually got this on. And for the next episode, hobbies, I've not sat and watched it in quite some time, so I'm looking forward to watching it again, which will be coming onto the channel tomorrow. I'm going to sit and watch it right now, but you'll be sitting and watching it on the channel tomorrow unless you want to go and watch the full episode now. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you like this video. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.